Let's talk about Bernie Sanders' response to Donald Trump's presidential address. Trump doesn't address our struggles as a people, as a nation. We're spending most of our time fact-checking his lies. Whether it's January 6th, undocumented voters, climate change hoax started by China, Ukraine starting the Russia war, millions of dead people ages 100 to 300 collecting Social Security. The man wants to dismantle Social Security. People earn those paychecks, right? We pay into that all of our lives at our job week after week. And that's 70 million Americans that have earned their right to retire and to be able to live and have money to survive, okay? He's deflecting us from issues him and his billionaire broligarchs don't want to address, right? He didn't speak to working families. At the presidential inauguration, Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg were there, and 13 other billionaires were behind them and were tapped to run his government, a government of the billionaire class, by the billionaire class, for the billionaire class, as Bernie said. They don't care about ordinary Americans or the working class. No matter who you voted for, they do not care. You get fired, you're the same person, no matter what party you voted for. Bernie Sanders talks about escaping from this parallel universe of alternative facts. What problems are actually facing Americans? Well, Bernie tells us 60% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Donnie and his buddies have never lived that reality. They were raised with a silver spoon in hand. Average Americans are worrying about how to pay for rent, childcare, healthcare, car repairs, which if you have a car problem, you can't get to work. You can't get to work, you can't pay your bills. You can't feed yourself. And healthy food, right? So our healthcare system is also broken and dysfunctional, is outrageously expensive. We are the only wealthy nation on earth not to guarantee healthcare for all. If Trump really wanted to make America great again or healthy again, he could have started right there, but he didn't say one word about it. He has concepts of a plan, allegedly, and he's had that for the past 10 years, and nothing has ever gotten done. Never actual policy, never any actual change. As Bernie says, healthcare is a human right. Trump didn't mention this healthcare crisis at all. Why do we pay the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs? Sometimes 10 times or more than people in other countries. How can we continue to afford this? And he also didn't mention the housing crisis. Over 800,000 homeless people, 20 million spend half their income on housing. That's a whole other issue. There is more income and wealth inequality in America than any other country in the world. They own more wealth than the bottom half of Americans. So few own so much, while so many suffer. And as a result of all these policies, life expectancy is now 4 to 7 years lower, as Bernie has said. Trump said nothing of climate change, with some of the highest temperatures recorded and the most extreme weather events and natural disasters as a result of human actions. Only drill, baby, drill. His alleged solutions will only make a bad situation worse. No tax on tips, Social Security, overtime. It's nothing compared to the tax breaks that are going to go to billionaires. And none of that's going to trickle down to you. That's a lie. They're going to use that to buy more yachts, more mansions, more supercars. The fight is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. It's the haves versus the have-nots. And guess what? If you're not a billionaire, you're a have-not. And the billionaires, they don't give one single fuck about you. The bottom 95% of Americans will see their taxes go up with these America First policies, which, more on that in a separate video. Trump didn't mention how his budget would cut Medicaid by $880 billion. 36 million Americans and kids will be off of health insurance. Nursing homes that receive most of their funds from Medicaid are going to have to be shut down, lay off workers. Nutrition assistance cut by $230 billion. The rich can take care of their families for up to 50 generations. Can you say the same? They're getting tax breaks by taking food from the kids who need it the most. A kid having a free school lunch doesn't affect your life, okay? Bernie Sanders also mentions that this is like the Robin Hood formula in reverse. Stealing from the poor to give to the rich. That stands against every ethical and moral value that we have as a society, much less for those of you Bible thumpers, what Christianity teaches us. Trump and Elon firing hundreds of thousands of federal employees from their Department of Government Efficiency, while he spends the weekends golfing, spending $10 million every weekend, or driving around NASCAR, or going to the Super Bowl and spending all that money to pay for Secret Service, Air Force One, and everything else that comes with the president traveling. So, what will Doge do next? What will happen when AI and robotics aim to replace you? They will dispose of you in the same way they are disposing of federal workers. And it doesn't matter who you voted for. You voted Trump, you're not protected. You're not protected. Also, the key issues that face us are ending a corrupt campaign finance system, which lets billionaires buy elections. Elon contributed $270 million to Trump's campaign to now become an unelected government bureaucrat. Any member of Congress who steps up to Netanyahu's genocide of Palestinians will be faced with millions of dollars behind AIPAC-funded opponents. It's supposed to be one person, one vote. We need publicly funded elections. The wealthiest people in this country should not be getting tax breaks. They should be paying their fair share of taxes. The federal minimum wage needs to be raised from $7.25 to a living wage of about $17 an hour. We need to grow trade unions and stop corporations from violating labor laws. Bernie is introducing an act for that the very next day. No cuts for Social Security. It must have expanded benefits and, once again, extend it. Billionaires must pay their fair share into Social Security, while 20% of seniors are living on $15,000 a year or less. Guarantee health care to all via Medicare for All single-payer program. Take on the greed of the pharmaceutical companies by making them charge us what they charge other countries, reducing prescription drug costs by 50%. We must build $4 million low-income and affordable housing units. Stop corporate landlords from jacking up rent prices. Establish a cap on rent. Everyone should be allowed to get a higher education in order to have the most educated workforce in the world. We must make public colleges, trade schools, and universities tuition-free, canceling student debt as well. Millions of jobs can be created by combating climate change and moving to sustainable energy. We must guarantee women control of their bodies, not the local, state, or federal government. Burning also remarks that despair is not an option. Even though you are feeling hopeless and tired and weary, like no one is listening to you, giving up is not an option. The stakes are too high. Real change occurs when ordinary people stand up by the millions against oppression and injustice and fight back. It's how our nation was founded and how we took on the British Empire. It's the history of the abolitionist movement, labor movement, civil rights movement, women's movement, environmental movement, and gay rights movement. The oligarchs are powerful. They control the media, our economy, and our political system. Bernie insists that they can be beaten if we stand together. If they can't break us up and divide us by the color of our skin, our religions, where we come from, our language, our sexual orientation, nothing can stop us. He says in conclusion, let us go forward together. I'm Aaron Shack Politics. You can find me here on TikTok, YouTube, and Substack. AaronShackPolitics.substack.com, so you don't miss a thing. There's a lot of censorship going on these various sites, so if you want to keep up with me, look for the links. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.